Okay, so for this video, we're gonna be reacting to YouTuber Montemuse talks about Paleo Americans in the year of 1600 not being seen by many. And for the thumbnail, he shows the rapper Young Thug, who is a Negro, and then he has a so-called Indian painting, a Native American painting that was painted in the 1600s as a thumbnail. And he already wants to call that painting a black Indian. But we've already learned from Lex Will and from research that a black Indian or Indian is not the same. In fact, there's no such thing as a black Indian as far as a racial group, but there is a such thing as black Indian as far as colonization. So we're going to go ahead and react and come back with the commentary, or pause and resume. So let's go.
Man, so as y'all can tell today, man, we got a little something special for you, right? I got a little something special for you. This is something I'm pretty sure many of y'all have never ever seen this before. Something fresh, something new, something you guys can take, post, share, like, do all that stuff with, so you can get a good representation, a spectacular representation of how we was looking 400 years ago, 500 years ago. No lie. These folks was able to, I don't know how I was able to find this. I honestly don't. I really don't. I don't know. How did I find it? I don't know. Dang it, man.
You probably found it through researching other YouTubers and probably through Googling so-called dark-skinned Native American photos like every other so-called wannabe black Indian person does. I used to be that person. I used to be that person that believed that we were Native Americans. I used to believe that. I used to be the person that believed we were Africans. But we're not. We're just not.
Hold on a second. Wait, let's zoom in. Okay, here we go. This is Lipperhide Costume Library. Costume book. Okay. Indian Great Lord Kildare. Okay. Interesting, right? Now, this is so interesting. Like, so, what? One second. Yeah. One second. I just wanted y'all to see right here where it says North American region, 1600s. Okay, 1600s, North American region. It is now what? The United States for the present day. So North America turned into the United States. Just want to show y'all that real quick. And in this particular book, I was stumbling across many different things, right? It's name, like I said, it's costume book. But yeah, in this, how should I put it? These photos from this collection. Yeah, there we go. This costume book, right? I was finding a lot of interesting stuff, right? And I've been finding out, like how I was talking in my other videos, there's really not much of a difference, right? And we can't let it slip through our fingers. Y'all can see that. I mean, in this photo, y'all can see how they got these clothes on, the dyed clothes, right? Y'all see how they got all this gold on and these gold hoops in their ears. Really pay attention. Gold hoop. You see the instrument that they playing, the instruments. Same instruments you can find today. Same ones, yo. Same ones. Right? Same ones. This is North America, by the way, for the ones that be like, you talking about India? They refer to this place as the original India, right? This was original India. North America region.
They referred to the place as original India because when they got there, based off the land, the ecosystem, America was very beautiful as resembled to the nation of India and other Asian countries. Then also they thought that they were in India because they saw dark skinned people there with straight hair. Because in India today, or during that time, you also had dark skinned people with straight hair. So that's one reason why they thought they were in India. But let's go ahead.
North America region. Look at this one. This is a sight to behold. Look at that. Let's go. The king. You see that? That look like a tambourine. I want y'all to go through this with me.
A timbre what? A tambourine? You mean, I know what he's talking about, but I think I know what he's talking about. But let me get back to it.
Look at that. That's the instruments that we was talking about. And you can see over here. You see how all of them got like different things going on with their hair? Now, folks be trying us with this whole hair texture thing, right? Y'all be trying us. It's about lineage. It's about lineage because some people can have, sometimes like back in those days, like the longer our hair, and if you wet it, it's not made out of bricks now. It's not made out of brick. Our hair is fuller and more electric, but it's not made out of.
I have no idea what he's talking about made out of brick, and I think I know what he's referring to when he says full electric. He's trying to say that our hair, spikes out like afro, but uh, now I don't know who he's referring to. If he's referring to the black Indian so-called or the Negro slaves, I'm not sure. But let's keep going.
Bricks. Okay, it's not a freaking Brillo pad. All right, don't try us like that. Our hair is our hair, and a lot of other people they got something else. Gonna put it like that. You see how they got gold hoops in their ears? Go hoop, go hoop, go hoop, go hoop. They get it tied back.
Okay, so he just showed a picture of that black, so-called black American woman with the perm. So first of all, that is not; those are not Negroes. Those are Amerindians or Native Americans. The reason you see black people or black Americans with that type hair is because they came from Europe and they already had that type hair. And when they came to America, they also saw another dark skinned group with the hair too. So they mixed in with those Indians. And that's why I see a lot of black people today with that while mixing with Negro slaves, because Negro slaves had afro hair. And then you have some Negro slaves that came from Africa, from the Siamese Hatanot slave trade from Thailand. A lot of those African slaves or Negro slaves, they have also mixture of straight and Afro hair, curly hair, because they mix with a lot of Native Americans. So yeah, you you definitely gonna have that, but those people in the photo are not Negroes. They're just not.
Remember they said they got it tied back like a horse's tail or something like that. You see that? This is who they was talking about. Look at that face very, very clearly, right? And they said they kind of look like the Canarians, etc., right? And if you're out, man, I'm trying to show y'all a picture of the Canarians, the original Canarians. Y'all see that? Y'all see that in their hand? In their hand? That look
Okay, well he can show you a picture of the original Canarians. I can show you a picture of the original European. Hold up, I can do the same thing too. Hold up, guys. He the only one that got receipts. Hold on, guys, it's loading. Go ahead. The first Europeans had a striking combination of features. You see that, guys? That is the first European. Dark skin, straight curly hair. They call him the Cheddar Man. So, yes, you have two different ones that we're talking about. He's talking about the Native American, which is this, right? Hold up. That's your Native American, dark skinned Native American. That's what he's talking about. These ain't Negroes. These are Native Americans. But What he's trying to talk about are the black colonists who came and looked like that. Some had afros too, but that's who came to America and found people like this and mixed with them. So let's get back to the video.
What is that? That look like a tambourine. That look like a tambourine. Tambourine. That's one of
Europeans brought tambourines to America as well. Europeans brought a bunch of instruments.
our instruments that we have to this day. That's a scepter, a crown.
Europeans had crowns too. Oh my gosh. Black people are Europeans, man.
Mm-hmm. From the sun. Y'all see the hair? It's just like our hair is. How our hair is today. And you see that? This one got a
If your hair is like that, you're either mixed with the black European or you are the black European. Or you're the black European mixed with the Native American, like I just showed you. See the Cheddar Man? You see Cheddar Man? That's a Negro. And then, right, let's go to the founder of Chicago. You see the founder of Chicago? He was a French colonizer. He first came out of Haiti because, Haiti was first developed by the French, the Black French, and he came to the United States and founded Chicago. You see how he has Negro face, dark skin, and straight hair, straight curly hair, just like the Cheddar Man. So that is the European he's talking about.
afro. Why they got longer hair and it's pressed down or greased down, and he got an afro. Like I really want y'all to tell that there is diversity in these.
Okay, so like I said, they're gonna find some people with afros because the Europeans that came, which you're gonna get to, they came and mixed with the Native American. Some of the colonizers had straight hair that were Negro. Some of them had curly hair, and some of them had afro. Because not all of them had straight hair. But let's go get this part. So we're gonna go to the American Dictionary of the English Language. So we're gonna type American. In Native of America, originally applied to the Aboriginals or copper-colored faces found here by the Europeans, but now applied to descendants of Europeans born in America. So what this means is, right, when the Spanish and the French came, Spanish colonized Mexico, California, Florida, Caribbean, and some parts of South America, and they were all Negro. The Black French came in the blue and colonized all of Midwest, Louisiana, and some parts of Caribbean and Canada as well. And then your British, the first 13 colonies, aka British Negroes, British people with last name Johnson, Jackson, Williams, you know, um, British last names, they came and colonized the 13 colonies. So an American, though, right? It was either first a native of America, which were the Native Americans. Hold on, guys. Native Americans, which are these people. See how dark his skin is? That's not a Negro. That's a Native American. That's a Native American. It was first applied to them, and then, guys, and then applied to the Aboriginals or copper-colored races found here by Europeans. So the Americans that came, right? The British, Spanish, French, when they came, they mixed in with the indigenous people and became Black Indians or Americans. Okay? So the American is the British, French, and Spanish black people that came and colonized and settled. The Indian is this person right here. When you bring black or when you bring American Indian in, the American is the Negro colonizer. And then the Indian is the indigenous, dark skinned, straight haired Native American. When those two mix, you get an American Indian, or what they like to call a black Indian. But black is talking about the American because black people are the original Americans because black people founded this country, the USA. The black Spanish, the black French, and the black British first 13 colonies. That's what an American Indian and a black Indian is. You see the trick he's trying to do? He's trying to say, oh, we were here before Columbus. Yes, because we were Columbus. Or the black Negroes were Columbus. A lot of, we weren't the Indian. Indians had Negro slaves, man. So, but now an American today is just a person who's born in America. So anybody can be American today. But the so-called original American was the British, Spanish, and the British, Spanish, and the French colonizers and settlers. And then the and then the indigenous American is the dark-skinned, straight-haired Native American people. And then he likes to say that they had big noses and Negro face. Look at this tribe in India. They're called the Irula. You see this woman? She has some Negro features, but she's not black. She's Hindu. I'll show you. Look at this. I've seen black women got that face, but this is not a black woman. That's a Hindu. We go to the it was the other one, guys. Hold up a second. Got some Amerindians. I've seen black women with this face, but that's not a black woman. That's a Native American in Colombia. So and also guys, I gotta show this right quick. Uh-oh. We'll go ahead and get to it.
Try to play, but they all of the same lineage. They are all the kin. Now look at this one. He got on full armor. How that armor looking? Crazy, right? Now this is North America. This is in North America. For those that are watching, I want you to share this. I want you to repost this. I want you to, put it on your social medias. This was North America. These are your so-called in present day foundational so-called black, right? These are your Americans, your true Americans. Everybody.
No, those are indigenous people. Those are indigenous. The so-called black American is the American or the European colonizer, the French, Spanish first, and then the British, 13 colonies. All your Cortezes and Lopezes, all those were black colonizers colonizing California, Mexico, and Florida. All your Boulets, Baptiste, Jeans, Du Bois, all those were your French colonizers who colonized the Midwest of the United States, like Detroit, Chicago, Missouri. They also had the Louisiana, the 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 French, light-skinned French colonized Louisiana, and the dark-skinned French, but they all had straight curly hair. And the American British, aka Black British, with Williams, Johnson, Davis, Smith, those black British came and colonized the first 13 colonies from the indigenous dark-skinned natives. Yes, you had some Spanish and French Negroes who went in and mixed with them, and that's why you probably see some Afro. But any Negro you see in those, if you see any Negro in that picture, they're more likely a colonizer or a settler that came from Europe. So, but the black British who colonized, they created the United States Constitution and became Americans. And then they bought the Louisiana Purchase or had the French Indian War. They also took over California and it all became the USA. All this was founded by black people, black European, black colonizers who also had white slaves and Negro slaves from Africa who were then from Asia. Okay? So that's the truth. And I'm going to give you some proof. Benjamin Franklin said in a quote, hold on, guys. Benjamin Franklin said in a quote, the number of purely white people in the world is proportionately small. All Africa is black or tawny. Asia chiefly tawny. Uh-oh. America who woolly so. And in Europe, the Spaniards, Italians, French, Russians, and Swedes are generally of what we call swarthy complexion, as are the Germans also. The Saxons only except who, with the English, make up the principal body of white people face the earth. And I wish were numbers increased. Those whites pretend to be British, Scots, by calling themselves English. The original Scots, British, Irish were swarthy or black people. And I'm going to show you a map. You see this map? That's the map of Benjamin Franklin saying almost all of Europe was dark, swarthy or black people, with whites as a small proportion. It's kind of like today. You look at the Africa map, right? Most of the dark skinned people are in Africa and Americas and these areas. You know why? Because these people, which are black people, Negroes, went off and got and colonized the Americas. The Spanish, Portuguese, French, British, Russian, Dutch. These are all Negroes. And then they call and then they hope guys. And then you also had some going or a lot going to Africa and also Oceania. So, you know, that's the truth. Negroes of America are colonizers, settlers from Europe, and some slaves from Africa that came from Asia. The Siamese slave trade.
You're Americans. You're true Americans. Everybody else is a foreigner and invader. All right. The second
No, the Negroes of Europe, they are foreigner. The Smith, Williams. If you weren't a slave in America, you are also a foreigner.
there were these so-called YT people who were really, they came later, right? And many of them were taught as well, just like the so-called African who ain't even really African for real. But they want to pretend like they have. Ooh, yeah, I gotta watch what I say. Ooh, good googly wiggly now. Good googly wiggly. Doggone. Now look at this.
See, now he's saying that the African ain't really African, which I just showed you. The African is a European royalty. We're gonna make some videos of showing some Norman tribes in Congo. You got some Normans, some Belgian people. You got some what is it? Some British in South Africa. You got some Black Dutch in South Africa. All they're Europeans, and you know what's funny? You also got Black Dutch in America too. You got Negroes in our country walking around with Holland Hopkins last name because black people are Europeans, man.
You see how they got that bow and arrow? I don't know what's going on. Is that a lady? I'm kind of confused on that a little bit. But look at that. You see how they got the gold necklaces, right? I kind of compare that, young thugger, right? Thugger.
No, absolutely not. Well, if you notice, a lot of the Irula people in India also wear gold necklaces and gold chains. We weren't the only group that wore gold. Everybody who found gold wore it. But, you know,
Indian. Okay. Okay. Yep. I don't know what that is in his hand. Kind of looks like corn. Kind of doesn't. All right. Let's make sure we keep that up. All right. Y'all see this face? This is some of the faces that some people's elders have. But let me tell y'all the little trick.
because a lot of black people have Native American admixture. I included myself have a Native American admixture. So, because my ancestors were slaves to Native Americans and black people. And some part of my ancestry, some are colonizers or settlers that mix with Native Americans. And remember, the European also had straight curly hair too,
They doing.
just like others too. If you have people in your family that have that face, that means they mix with a Native American. It don't mean that they're Native American.
All right. What they doing is they trying to take people that have a face similar to ours. So they went and got the Native Americans. They painted their face over and they did blackface. But the originals,
What? What did he just say?
they look like. Let's make sure we keep that up. All right, y'all see this face? This is some of the faces that some people's elders have. But let me tell y'all the little trick that they doing, right? What they doing is they trying to take people that have a face similar to ours. So they went and got the Native Americans. They painted their face over and they did blackface. But the originals, they look like us. Rearrange your mind to realize that we are the first being. We are the originals. So you had Americans that look like the ones I just showed y'all and Americans that look like this. Okay? So when y'all compare yourselves to the modern or the natives that y'all see on like the little shebangs or whatever like that, where it appears like they dark skin, it's not those. They trying to play off the ones that look like this to make themselves seem like they're Indian. No, don't fall for the nonsense. Don't do it. Let's zoom in on their face even more so you can really tell. They don't. It does not look like a modern Native American. Even more. You see that? See how the eyes are?
No, okay, so you have tribes in India that also have that eyes. You have Africans who have those type eyes too in Senegal and Congo. You have black people in Dominican Republic and in Brazil that have those type eyes. Those just don't apply. Those just don't apply to one race. I mean, one group of people. You have black people with those eyes everywhere.
But the hair, you see how the hair is. Just making sure y'all get this. It's the so-called Mongol look, right?
No, 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 no. You can't do that. No, sir. You don't want to do that. So he's trying to say that because a lot of Native Americans have monolith eyes, that black people with monolith eyes are gonna look like this. But as you clearly see in the painting, those aren't monolith eyes. And if you didn't know, there's groups in Africa with monolith eyes. There's tribes in Nigeria, tribes in Kenya. You got the Khoisan people. They got monolith eyes, but they ain't Native American. The San could be, but not the Khoisan. So no, don't start that game with the Mongol because you don't know what you're referring to by that.
The so-called Mongol look, right? These are what they would call these people black people today. I'm not like stop
Yes, because they had dark skin, not because they were Negro.
playing. They would call these people the black Americans today.
No, they wouldn't. If that was the case, then black Americans wouldn't be fighting for reparations, right? You know, black Americans would have a lot of land in the Americas, but we don't because we're not Indian colonizers and slaves.
Zoom in on that face again. Come on now. So they trying to play around with all the phenotypes that we had and bring in people that share a resemblance, an oid. All right, it's resembling the originals, right? The original Indians that had different phenotypes.
The reason that a lot of Negroes resemble the original Indian, because like I said earlier, they came and colonized and mixed with the Indian. That's why. If you get a black man and a Hindu woman, they're gonna make kids that look like both. That's why. Not because, not because, they were Indian. It's because they mixed with them and their offspring, their descendants are going to look like who they mixed with. That's why. And the person who mixed was the European colonizer, settler, and the Native American did in a straight haired person.
Resembling person and brought them in to take the place of the ones that they resemble, right? It's tit for tat, right? So they bring in maybe the Africans, so-called Africans that might look like the ones that were darker, with curlier hair, right? Or shorter, curlier hair, and then say that they're a mixture of them, or they'll have people, the Indians that look like this, they'll bring in the natives, paint their freaking face or play around with that, and they'll have a resemblance and say that these ones came from them or a mixture of them, right? Y'all see the game they playing, and then you just have your our YT passing people, and they'll say that the YTs they're a mixture of the YTs or the pale man. They playing the game, big fella. What I
No, so what it is, guys, the five civilized tribes of America owned slaves. They owned black African slaves and white African slaves. Those white African slaves, they mixed with them. And when you get a white woman and a dark skinned Native American man, you get a lighter skinned baby that looks more Native American or biracial, like way lighter. And then when that native mixes again with the white person, now they look more phenotypically white. The black slaves didn't really mix with the Native Americans like that. They were more of the laborers and the house, people and people who were on the plantation. Some did mix with black slaves, some didn't. But the Native Americans, which were straight haired, dark skinned people, Indians, they had Negro slaves from Africa, and those Negro slaves came from Asia, and they also had white slaves. That's why you had some look pale because they mixed with white slaves.
brains, all right. They playing around. This been him since the get from the jump. Crazy, man. All right, let's look at this. They playing a little ball game right here. You see the ball, the rubber ball game. Okay, the Indians, right? The Indian ball game. You see that it says ball, just in case y'all. Some people don't want to seem like they can't see that. So yeah, this the rubber ball game. They playing a rubber ball game. Kind of looks like maybe soccer, or I can't really tell what that is. The ball's way over here, and everybody got their back turned towards it. Really, that's close to it. So I don't really know what that's about. Kind of looks like he's probably guarding. What does that look like? Hold on a second. Is that something around his hand? I don't know. This might be soccer. I ain't gonna lie. I ain't gonna lie. I don't know. I don't know. That's kind of looking kind of. I don't know. But look at that face. That's what an Indian looks like of America. The hair tie like what they say, a horse's tail. Okay then.
Yeah, that definitely. That's what an Indian looks like, but not a Negro. Not even close to a Negro.
You see how these people look? Different faces. Different faces. They grease their hair back. They grease their hair back. Okay then, let's move on. Here's a great one too. Let's look at that. You see? Looks like the what's happening here? Why is it is that a child? Is that supposed to be a child or something? What's happening? Why is it on the horse? Let's look at this. Okay, you see that? Their face? That face? And they got horses. Yes, we had horses. Don't let these people lie to y'all. We had horses.
Okay, so if you theorize that those are black people, the Europeans that came brought horses to America because horses were extinct in Native America. So that's why the Spanish brought horses, and I'm gonna show you. All right, guys. Yes, the horses were once native to North America, but they were extinct around 10,000 years ago. Spanish colonists reintroduced horses to North America in 16th century, and I'm pretty sure that painting he made is made in the 1600s. Spanish colonists in 16th century, Spanish people brought horses from Europe to the deserts and grasslands of western North America. So if you want to say that those are black people, those are black Europeans mixed with Indians, and they brought their horses to America. Or it could be the Indians somehow having a horse over there, but it said they didn't have horses. They became extinct. So let's go.
All right, these horses, yes, for sure. And yes, we was attuned with nature and the birds. We love the animals. All right,
Everybody loves animals, but let's just get back to the video.
custom book Indian Great Lord Kandir. I think that's how you say that. All right, let's move on. Okay, we see him. Looks like he's, what is that? Hunting a cat, some type of cat with a bell on it. Also, yeah, you see that he got the sun right here. A boom, spear. You see the clothes he got on? He's riding a horse with some sandals on. So I made this little comparison.
So guys, any real Native American watching this video right now, I'm trying to let you know the truth. Black people colonized the land first, not white people. So I'm letting you know that black people colonized this land first. Okay? So the Columbus, Cortez, all those people were black. And they came over and they mixed with natives and created American Indians. An American Indian is a mixed American, which is the European black colonizer, and the indigenous native dark-skinned Native American. These people brought horses. The Spanish, they brought horses to here. They weren't here in America during that time. They were here a little bit longer ago, but they weren't here in that time. So,
Yeah, you see that he got the sun right here. I just really wanted y'all to see this, man. I hope y'all really enjoyed this, right? I'm just showing there is not much of a difference. Look at how beautiful our people are. Look at this, man.
and when he's saying our people, he's talking about black Indians or European colonizers who mixed with Native Americans and calling themselves Indian today. If you're a Negro who doesn't know any Indian in their family or has Afro textured hair, you were a slave in America, by the Indian or the black European. You were not an indigenous person. That is a lie. This woman in the photo is either a black woman of Negro slavery descendant who permed her hair or put a wig on to look like this person and probably has some Indian admixture, or she's a descendant of a black European or colonizer that came over and mixed with the indigenous people and has that phenotype now.
Look at this. Look at how beautiful our people are. The American, ancient Americans, man. The ancient Americans. The American Indian, right? The ancient American. Look at how we are, man. The facial structure. It, you're not a product of mixture. You're your
It's really just her nose, to be honest. That's really it. That looks like a Hindu woman. But let's get back to the
own
video.
set of people, man. Don't ever let these people play with your dome. You know what I'm saying? Don't ever let these people get inside your subconscious mind. Try to make you seem like you less than. These folks got
Letting y'all know the so-called black European colonizers owned black slaves, oppressed black slaves, didn't help black slaves. So those people be talking about black Indian, those people owned black Negro slaves.
everything from you. Heck nah, big fella. Heck to the nah.
The black European had straight hair, but it was still Negro. The Negro slave had Afro hair. Yes, you had some black Europeans with Afro hair too, but majority of the slaves had Afro hair.
I think I showed y'all. Did I show you this? I don't know. Oh yeah, that's right. Oh look at that. Look at that. You see how her hair is? Kind of remind you of back in those days with the early singing groups. How they used to do their hair like this and make it curl like that.
Because they permed it. Because in the black community during that time, and a little bit today too, people wanted to look mixed because a lot of people are of black European ancestry. I just showed y'all the first European looked like this, the Cheddar Man. That's a black person, straight hair. Straight hair. That's why a lot of people here have straight hair and are black, dark skin. But I believe she's a Negro slave mixed with Indian, mixed with black European, and she's perming her hair or straightening her
Yeah,
hair.
I'm gonna put a little side by side comparison if I remember to do that. All right. Y'all see that nose right there, curly hair, boom, go hoop, boom, 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 linked up like that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Ain't that something? Ain't that something? Is that a man? What's up with this, man? Let's scroll up. Yeah, what's up with that? Is that a man? I can't really tell. What's up with that? Some of them be looking kind of, Okay. We did have people like Prince and Michael Jackson.
Michael Jackson was mixed with Native American. He was black European. Same with Prince.
Okay. Hold on a second. Okay, let's go. Yes, indeed. That's an extremely large mustache. Hold on. Okay, y'all see the difference? The pointy ears again.
Now it's making me think that these are black Europeans who had came and mixed with the indigenous, and now they're just showing their descendants. So because Native Americans can't really grow beards and facial hair like that, so that's why I'm believing that those are black colonizers in those photos and descendants who have Indian blood, so or Indian mixture. So that
The curly hair, y'all see the curls in it. So this is actually showing you guys how what they really saw or what they was really seeing and imagining back in those days when they were documenting certain things.
I'm pretty sure the people who documented were the black Europeans, just like how the white people be saying that they Irish and Scottish and Denmarkish and German, even though they're not. They're Slavics, people from Eastern Europe. It's the same way when the black colonizers and settlers came over here and they ended up mixing in with the people, making their tribe, and documenting them as the indigenous, even though they're not. They're European.
Y'all see how that's exactly how our hair is when we slick it down.
Your hair is only like that if you were the black European. If you were a descendant of the black European who came and either colonized and settled and mixed with the indigenous people, or you're a black slave that mixed with the indigenous people, and your hair is now, curly like that, or you're a descendant of the Indian, which is the straight-haired Native American, dark skin.
Now, and you see the curls right there. And you see the other ones tied it right here. They tied it. And you see him. You see how I got that poof up here, but then he braided it down. That's the sign of that his hair is thick. Okay, he has thickened hair. The same kind of what they be doing with Mardi Gras and stuff like.
Well, the Native Americans can have that. Those are braids, by the way. They can have those hairstyles too. Look at that. Same braids. Look at that. And that's not a Negro. So what is he talking about? I just
That. Just showing you guys. Ain't that something? It's beautiful. I want y'all to leave y'all like, comments, and your thoughts.
So let's go ahead and do a recap. Black people colonized this land. Benjamin Franklin said all of Europe was dark skinned or swarthy. Those swarthy people were the French, British, Russians, Dutch, and Portuguese who colonized the Americas. This called, Spanish colonized Mexico, Florida, and California. And then the French came, people like Jean Baptiste. Jean Baptiste, the Haitian trader or really French trader, colonized Chicago, and the other black French colonized the Midwest and Louisiana. Then your blacksmiths, black Germans, black British came and colonized the first 13 colonies of America. Those are your so-called Americans. And then they mixed with these people. They mixed with these people in Native Americans. That is not a Negro. That's a Native American. Okay. That's the truth. And then the Africans are a descendant of the European too. All these people in this dark used to be in this area, Europe. And then, right, they had Native Americans also had white slaves too, and black slaves. So yeah, man, he's lying to you guys. He is lying, lying. I know he knows that most of us are European, and the ones that came from Africa were slaves who came from Asia. But all praise the Most High. Hiya, hiya.